So what is up, everybody? It is Rodak with Rodak Survival, and we are finally here to break down the last Supercross race of the season. It is a sad day because we don't ever want to see it come to an end, but unfortunately these things do start and come to an end, and now we have to look forward to motocross. But before we get there, let's go ahead, break down tonight's race, break down some things that happened, things I agree and disagree with. I just want to break down tonight, but coming forward, I probably will make a video either tomorrow or Monday, just kind of recapping the season, how I felt the season went, the tracks, the riders, just everything in between, and just kind of go from there. So guys, before I jump in, if you like the video, please hit the like button and please consider hitting that subscribe button. But without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into the Salt Lake City recap. So as we all knew, if you were fans of the sport or whatever the case may be, we know that Eli Tomac was not racing tonight. He has that knee injury that he's definitely going to heal up before he wants to go jump into that motocross season. You know Yamaha wants to just go with that clean sweep. So they were like, back it down. You already won that championship. So no Eli Tomac tonight, which is a bummer, but what can you do, right? As far as the 250 class was concerned, Jet Lawrence went down in free practice earlier today, or qualifying, one of the two, and ended up going down, spraining his ankle. So he was out for tonight as well. Real bummer to see that, because we didn't really get to see the race that we wanted in Atlanta during the shootout, and then he wasn't there tonight either. So really sucks to see that, but it is what it is. Jet, I hope he gets better. That kid, I hope he just stays off the ground. And we have two riders who had earlier and previously announced their retirements. You had Chris Blows, who was riding in the 250 class. I remember seeing Blows even back when I was in high school and I was a kid. That was 10, 15 years ago. Chris Blows, great career. He's had some hard hits as well, man. That dude is a trooper and a warrior, because man, he's taken some hard hits over the years. And then we also had Justin Barcia, a guy that I've always cheered for. I don't think anybody ever had any bad blood with. It was awesome to see him get that one career win at Daytona, of all places. It was just, man, I remember Justin Barcia being on that JGR Yamaha. I think it was maybe like 2012, 2011, 2013, somewhere around there. Guys, don't fact check me. It was just somewhere around there. That was that one year where he was just consistently at the front. He was kind of running third. He was leading races. Didn't ever get that first win, so I believe 2018. But man, Justin Barcia, just an overall great guy, and yeah, I hope those guys enjoy their retirement. Now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and hop into this 250 main event. And coming off the jump, you had Hunter Lawrence and you had Christian Craig right there in the positions that they needed to be in, and unfortunately Craig ended up going down 2 weeks in a row trying to run down, or at least following, Hunter Lawrence. And I know once I get later in this video and announce exactly what happened, then it doesn't make sense of what I'm about to say. But do we have to question whether Christian kind of gets in his own head or not? Because 2 weeks in a row when he's trying to run somebody down, he has gone down. And so I've seen that in years past. I've also seen it this year. Earlier in the year, he has had great rides and he was able to get the whole shot and just kind of check out. But once he was like really battled, the only time I saw him battle and not make a mistake was when he was going up with Moseman. But over these last few rounds, I don't know if it was the championship on his mind or what, but he went down 2 times in a row chasing Hunter Lawrence. I don't know if that's a question of his mentality, but just something I wanted to throw out there. But other than that, the main event was pretty uneventful. You had Forkner making some mistakes, Craig making some mistakes, just kind of riding in conservative mode. You had Hunter, who was sitting back there behind Nate Thrasher, and just kind of like my one criticism about Hunter earlier in the years, it seems like he starts pushing and gaining time at the end of the race when he's just a little too late. But I mean, what can you do? I mean, even if he got that one spot, he would have still not won the championship. But I appreciate the last 3 minutes or so with Thrasher and Hunter Lawrence going at it. And kudos to Thrasher. He hasn't been on the podium all year. He won 2 races last year. Something's maybe been off with him a little bit, so it was cool to see him hang on and try to get that first victory of the year in the final race of the year. So coming through with your podium, like I said, it was real short and sweet with the 250 class, but coming through with your podium, it was Nate Thrasher with the win, Hunter Lawrence in second place, and Pierce Brown coming through in third. But the ultimate storyline of the entire night was Christian Craig getting his first 250 Supercross championship at the age of 30 years old. He finally was able to do it. And referencing back to the beginning of this statement, like I said, do we have to question his mentality? I don't think Christian's a bad guy. I like Christian a lot. I like the stuff that he's got going on with his family. I like that his family is such a tight-knit family. I think he is one of the strongest mentally guys out there. I say that because he came out, had a good amateur career, had a good first couple years, retired after a big injury, came back and just kept losing it as far as just getting injured, and then came back this year and made it happen. But overall picture, I think his mentality is really good. I just think maybe he got a little bit excited with trying to win that championship. I think that's a different level of pressure than it is just coming back and trying to win races. I think winning that championship and having that on your mind is a little bit more nerve-wracking because you are on a machine, machines break. It's just really nerve-wracking because you never know what could happen. So for your 250 champions this year, we already know Jet Lawrence wrapped up the East Championship last week, and on that team, HRC Honda, and Christian Craig wrapping up the West Championship tonight on that Star Yamaha racing machine. So kudos to both of those guys. It was a bummer we didn't get to see Jet race tonight, but congratulations to both of those guys. They had great seasons, some ups and downs here and there, but ultimately they were the ones that were there week in and week out, and they made it happen. Now, on complete opposite ends of the spectrum, the 450 class was absolutely ecstatic tonight, and Daniel Blair got it absolutely right when he was like, is this A1? Because those guys were out there just... Hey man, it just looked like a fun race. It didn't look like they were worried about championships or anything like that. It was just a one night, winner take all kind of thing, and they were just going for it. So yeah, Justin Bogle getting out to that whole shot, but he would quickly surrender that to Jason Anderson and Chase Sexton, and Bogle would slowly slip back as Cooper Webb was in third, Barcia was fourth, Malcolm was fifth, Muscan was sixth, and all the exciting racing tonight would stay away from your leaders. Once Jason Anderson got that lead, he just slowly kind of pulled it out on Chase Sexton. I think at the end of the race or coming up to the last lap before Jason backed it off, it was like 6 or 7 seconds. Jason just slowly kind of pulled away from Chase Sexton, which, I mean, Jason was riding absolutely fantastic this whole year. He tied Eli in wins, but Jason and Chase, they rode great tonight up there in first and second, but the main battle was through that third to sixth place position because 3 of those guys were going for third place in the points. That is an extremely big payout from third place to fourth place. Getting on that top podium and being in that top 3 for that championship is a big payout, and you had a battle between Malcolm Stewart, Justin Barcia, and Marvin Muscan for that third place position, and Malcolm Stewart ended up getting past Barcia and moving up into third place, and just 2 corners later, Justin Barcia would do what he is best known for, and that is completely being a super dirty rider and just completely T-boning Malcolm Stewart off the bike. I don't care if you're the biggest Justin Barcia supporter, you're the biggest fan, you love his YouTube channel, you watch every video and you comment and like every video and you like every post that he posts on Instagram and all that stuff. That was dirty. I don't care if you come at me in the comments section. I don't care if you hate Malcolm Stewart. That was absolutely dirty. And like Ricky said, if Malcolm would have turned down earlier in that corner, that would have been damn near a head-on collision. Super dirty. I wholeheartedly appreciated the fans for cheering on Malcolm Stewart for trying to make that drive to come back at Justin. I wholeheartedly appreciated the fans of Salt Lake City completely booing Justin. I don't even appreciate his podium conference. I think he's a good guy, and I don't think he's that bad of a guy, but when he's on that track, man, he just makes some of the dirtiest moves that I have ever seen anybody ever make. And the one he made on Malcolm tonight was probably the worst of the season. Just completely inexcusable. Just, yeah, I don't know. I hated it. I hope they fine Justin or dock him positions. I don't care. Just, they got to set a precedent that, like, you cannot just T-bone guys like that. It was ridiculous. But after me ranting on that a little bit, Malcolm Stewart would get up relatively quickly and drop back to 6th place. So you had Justin Barcia 3rd, Cooper Webb 4th, Marvin Muscan 5th, and Malcolm Stewart in 6th. And just a few laps after that, you had the KTM guys of Cooper Webb and Marvin Muscan going at it. Marvin was behind Cooper trying to pass him every little place, and it ended up coming down to Marvin just getting tired of being behind Cooper after a couple of minutes and just kind of putting Cooper off the track, which allowed Malcolm Stewart to get by as well. Cooper kind of waved him by. He knew that he wasn't in that 3rd place fight. He knew that Malcolm was going back up for a charge. He might have saw what Justin did to Malcolm, and he was like, yeah, go get him. I don't know what that was, but pretty cool move on Cooper at that point. But you could absolutely tell Malcolm was on the charge. He ended up catching Marvin Muscan and ended up getting past him and just completely railing the inside of that corner. It was just... Man, it was just so cool. Malcolm was on a charge tonight. The fans were just on their feet. It sounded like Eli Tomac back in Denver last week. Every time Malcolm came around, they were just cheering him on. They wanted him to catch Barcia, and he did. He ended up catching Barcia for like the last 2 laps, ended up sliding out on the last lap and just kind of losing a little bit of pace and just wasn't able to ever get up to Barcia. But Marvin and Cooper would battle to the end, and Marvin would end up besting Cooper Webb. But, man, just overall, just a great night of racing. You had Jason Anderson coming away with your win, Chase Sexton in 2nd place, and Barcia in 3rd. I would have really loved to see Malcolm Stewart get put on the ground the way that he did and be able to catch Barcia and just be able to prove that, like, I'm better, I'm faster. Yeah, I was really pushing for Malcolm. I was just on my edge of my couch wanting to be there at that stadium cheering on Malcolm. I wanted him to catch Barcia, and I didn't even care if Malcolm did it in the dirty way. I wanted him to just beat Barcia. That's all I cared about for tonight's race without Eli being there, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, it didn't end up working that way, but Malcolm got his revenge because he did end up getting 3rd overall in the points this year, finishing out ahead of Justin Barcia. But again, I would like to hear your guys' thoughts on Barcia's move. Like I said, I thought it was completely dirty, completely unnecessary, completely uncalled for. There is no justification for T-boning somebody that hard and doing that dirty of a move. I don't care if you're going what place you're going for. Maybe if it's the last lap like Ricky said, then yeah, I can understand something like that. But they were like 6 minutes into the race. It just was super dirty. Yeah, I don't agree with it. Again, one more time, your podium is Jason Anderson in 1st, Chase Sexton in 2nd, and Justin Barcia coming through in 3rd. Guys, like I said, please like the video. If you like the video, please consider subscribing as well. I wholeheartedly appreciate every new subscriber I get. I always try to stay active with you guys in the comments, and leave your comments down below on whether or not you thought this was a great season, a bad season. I'll jump into more of it in a later video, kind of recapping the whole season. And also, again, leave your comments for what you thought the move on Justin Barcia. Did you think it was clean? Was it dirty? Leave your comments down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.